welcome to today's edition of Top Tier Profits for Real Estate Investors with Shemie CPA. My name is Matthew Littman. I'm a senior manager here at Shemie CPA, where we deliver premium accounting services to real estate investors to help drive profits and growth. As always, we have Charles Shemie, the big partner here at the office, that's here to discuss with me today. Good afternoon, Charles. How are you doing today?
Great, thank you. How are you doing, Matthew?
I'm good. It's getting a little cold out these days. You know, Canadian winter is upon us.
Absolutely. That's why it's nice to be talk tax. And
That's it.
Inside a nice warm office.
That's right. It's a good time of year to work hard and deliver some value to our clients and to our audience, which I am excited to be presenting to today. I thought that today we could just have a more general discussion about real estate and kind of just the real estate environment and how it's obviously significantly changed over the past 6 to 8 months, I would say. So what do you think about that topic?
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily a tax topic, but it's really good to talk about the real estate climate and the situation, which, as you say, has changed drastically for our very eyes. So it's important, I think, to bring up a few points for sure.
Totally. I mean, as accountants, we can obviously, and we like to focus on tax, but I think a lot of our audience doesn't know that we also own and manage our own real estate projects. So we have some advice to give on the management side as well.
Well, as accountants, we don't just add up numbers. We also give management consulting advice and to guide our clients in a proper business way so that they can maximize their profits.
Absolutely. So why don't we start with this question? Do you think it's a good time to invest right now in real estate, of course?
That's a loaded question, and there's I'll give you both scenarios. It's very, very difficult right now because prices seem to still be high. They haven't really gone down significantly, but your costs of financing has skyrocketed, pretty much doubled. So the return, your returns are very, very minimal, and you have to be careful. When you're buying real estate, that that you have the adequate cash flow. So it's very important that you look at all of your expenses, especially your financing expenses. But I think things are going to change in the next few months, where prices are going to come down. They have to come down because the cap rates are just are really quite impossible right now to make it work. So prices will come down. So I think there's going to be an opportunity, but banks are not lending either. Banks are really giving investors a hard time.
Right.
And as they say, as the saying goes, cash is king. So if you've got cash, that's the time. Just hold on, wait, and an opportunity will come around. If you're working with investors, get their commitment ready. And wait till the right time when you see the prices that will start coming down. Inevitably, they will definitely start coming down.
Absolutely.
So yes, it's a great time. Just wait and go for it in a few months.
Have you noticed? I mean, you may not be the best reference here. You can speak to commercial brokers on these types of topics, but is commercial real estate and residential real estate both kind of in that space? Have they both not seen much movement since the interest rates increase?
I think you have I think there's a bigger choice in commercial real estate, only because there's quite a bit of vacancies after COVID, and there's a lot of vacancies, store vacancies. and office vacancies, and I don't think they've been filled up yet. I think you're going to see a lot of developers or investors giving back the properties to the bank. That's my feeling. So there will be much more on the market. The residential side is pretty much stable.
Yeah.
Their vacancy, the Canadian vacancy rate is almost at zero.
Right. Yeah.
So, so yeah, so you'll most likely find a better prices with commercial, but there's a lot more risk also.
Yeah, it is interesting to see how the interest rates have of course gone up, but the markets, I mean, the stock market's been affected, but unemployment levels are still quite low from what I understand, and real estate prices are hanging in there. Maybe it's just a matter of time till there's some breaking, but I'm sure there's a lot of real estate holders out there that are starting to feel that squeeze.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird type of recession because, like you said, there's the unemployment rate is still really, really low. So usually in a recession there's going to be, but I think things are going to come. I think things will get worse before they get better. I really believe that. That's why I'm saying to hold on to your cash for now.
Okay.
And wait. Because inflation is not going to, hopefully won't stay that long, and hopefully the war in Ukraine will end shortly, and oil prices will come down inevitably. So there's a lot of great things on the horizon, but I would wait. I would hold on to the cash and wait.
As I've heard very sophisticated real estate investors, entrepreneurs say that recessions are great times to make fortunes, right? So you just have to wait for that right opportunity.
Always buy. As the saying goes, buy low and sell high. It seems to me that most people don't follow that.
Right.
They buy high because prices are great and everything is high, everything is great. So they just go follow, and then when people start selling, they oh no, I better sell, and they start selling too. So I think it's always good to go against the wave.
Yeah.
So when people are selling is when you should be buying.
Absolutely. And what would you say, like in terms of from a financing point of view, say somebody finds a really great deal, but interest rates are quite high, they go to the bank. Would you recommend going for a fixed rate mortgage or a flexible rate or a mix?
Well, you can never predict the rates.
Yeah. So
you're taking a chance if you're going with flexible rates or variable rates. Yes, interest rates will be lower, but you have to be able to sleep at night and not worry about interest rates going up. And so I tend to go on the conservative route, which is to get a long-term fixed rate, and just have to make the numbers work. And this is where we can help you make the numbers work.
Totally. So these interest rates today, obviously, they were very, very low for a long period of time, like throughout I guess since about 2014 or 2015 till just recently, like mid 2022, and now are they do you consider these rates to be at a normal level, or do you think that they're high right now?
You know what, Matthew, that's the best question you've asked me yet so far today. Because let me tell you something. First of all, we've had low interest rate environment for many, many years, way before 2014 and 2015. But if you look throughout, if you look at long-term history, interest rates are typically around 8%. They were giving money for free. Those days are over.
Right.
So now you have to expect about going forward about 8%, 8% interest rate. I think it's gonna go up higher than 8%, but it's eventually come down to about 8%. It's gonna stay that way for a very long time.
Wow. Yeah, 8% is going to really affect these real estate investors' models, right? It's going to be hard to.
I remember in the 80s when interest rates were at 20 something percent, 18, 19, 20. I remember that really well, and business was really booming. I mean, real estate was booming, and banks were lending money at those rates. But yeah, definitely, the interest rates are going to stay up. Forget about 2-3%. Those days are over, both here and in the States.
Yeah, I mean that rate, because I mean, maybe you could briefly walk us through what you would recommend your clients to look at when they're sizing up a potential investment, because they usually look at the cap rate, right? It's a 5 cap, 6 cap, 7 cap. Is that a thing of the past with these higher rates?
Well, I mean, it's going to determine the value. I think the cap rates have come down, so I think your values are gonna have to come down. The cap rates is just a fancy way of saying, what's the price? Does it make sense? Does it make sense to me? And you've got to look at your cash flow. That's the most important thing. So, you're going to be paying interest, principal. Got to look at all your expenses. Make sure that you take a vacancy rate, because you're not going to be full all the time, and make sure that the numbers work for you.
Absolutely.
And this is where we can come in to help you.
Yeah, definitely. We love doing those little cash flow analysis on different properties for our clients and showing them the ropes a little bit if they need to, or double checking their work, right?
Well, that's great. That's what you're good at, Matthew.
Absolutely. Also, so I think it's also a good time to mention, like, cost of renovations have gone up, to say the least. Not easy to find a good cheap contractor these days.
Forget about getting qualified contractors is also very difficult. Cost of materials have skyrocketed, although they have come down somewhat since this past year, but still really difficult. And you have to factor all of that in. And to do renovations, if you live in a province where there's rent control, then you're going to have difficulty to try to pass on those renovations to your tenants. You would have to do it over a certain number of years. So again, cash flow is king.
Yeah, rent control. I mean, it seems like there's very little opportunity in the residential sector today, and rent control is not helping. It's difficult to increase rents in this province, Quebec.
In all provinces, Matthew, all provinces difficult to increase rent, especially now when people, the average person is suffering. Inflation hits the middle class and the lower middle class much more than the higher class, the higher wage earners.
Okay, great. So, I mean, with all that being said, is it a dismal outlook? Is real estate still a good investment? I mean, I'm sure you saw in the news, 500,000 new immigrants a year coming to this country. Crazy number. I mean, I think that's double the immigrants per capita of the UK, quadruple the number of the United States. Lots of immigrants coming into Canada. Is that going to help real estate? Is real estate still optimistic in your view?
Real estate is the key to wealth. Is really the key. It's a long-term grind, but real estate is the key to wealth. You can be guaranteed that if you're investing in real estate, you will be wealthy. It's really that simple. I've seen it with my very own eyes, with my clients who are, who took their profits, whatever they're doing in their business, and invested it in real estate. versus clients that, invested in the stock market, for example. They both clients had a great life, a great living. The clients that invested in real estate, 30, 40 years down the line, they're laughing all the way to the bank.
That's it. And that's
I can give you numerous examples of that.
exactly. And that for our viewers, we'll do some story times later on. I'd love to get some story times in because we do have 30 years. I mean, I don't want to give away the numbers exactly, but more than 30 years collectively between the two of us, way more than 30 years experience. And Charles has seen people go from here to just skyrocket, and we have a part of the recipe to help any of our viewers achieve those same goals. So I think that's it for today. It's a short segment on the current real estate climate. In case you have anything else to add, Charles, feel free.
No, like I agree with you. Look for the deals. The deals are coming. Look for them. Go speak to your accountant or speak to us even better, and we'll analyze those deals for you. We have no problem with that. We're really good at it, and we'll tell you if you should go for it or if you shouldn't go for it.
Great. So thank you so much for joining me today.
It's been great talking to you. It was really fun. Good topic.
Yeah, it was great. And to our audience, remember, if you need any more advice on real estate investing, or if you have any questions about anything related to real estate, taxes, accounting, financing, maintenance, the whole kit, you can book a call with us using the link below. And until next week, happy real estate investing.
Take care. Bye-bye.